www.Decatur.com. Decatur, Illinois, USA. We're a busy, happy town of over 80,000 alert, wide-awake good neighbors, living together in perfect community harmony. We enjoy the development of our fertile lands by industry, and the wonderful combination of agricultural and industrial activity gives us the prosperity to which we are accustomed. For Decatur is the soybean capital of the world. Who would have guessed, as we eye the familiar landmarks of our area, that just a short 150-odd years ago, there was nothing here but perhaps a few stray cabins in the wilderness. It wasn't until 1829 that Decatur was established as the seat of Macon County, and in 1836, it was incorporated as a town. The city, as we all know, was named for the famous hero of United States naval history, Commodore Stephen Decatur. The county for Nathaniel Macon, a Revolutionary War hero. Since that early time, our growth has been steady. Our population increased some. 3,800 by 1860, when the Grand Army of the Republic was about to be founded right here in Decatur. Over 20,000 by 1900. Over 40,000 by 1920. Until today, we are the 8th largest city of our state. Transportation is one of the keynotes of our success, keeping us in close touch with the rest of the country and indeed the rest of the world. 6 intercity bus companies provide 37 daily trips from the Union Bus Depot, and traveling by car, railroad, and airplane is easy for Decatur folks, with all necessary facilities readily available. We citizens of the Decatur community live a busy, bustling life, combining work and play to round out a happy existence. Jobs are plentiful for all. Many of us work on farms, many in industries. Most of us know the big manufacturers by name, but how many of us have been inside their plants and seen their processes? Let's take a look at some of the manufacturing and retail establishments, some familiar, some virtually unknown, that have contributed to the success of our town. One of our most familiar stores has been serving the Decatur community for over 50 years. The Emerson Piano House, Incorporated. Emerson's record counter has long been the outstanding shop of its kind in central Illinois, with a complete stock of all types and speeds of phonograph records available to music lovers. Records are played by remote control to the 5 listening rooms. The store represents the full line of Hammond organs in 18 central Illinois counties. Seated at the Hammond chord organ is Mr. H.W. Hoot Gibson, the well-known Emerson representative. The sensational instrument which he is playing can be mastered by anyone in a few minutes, even though a person can't read a single note of music. One finger of the right hand plays the melody. One finger of the left hand plays the chords by numbered buttons, and one foot pressing on a pedal automatically plays the proper bass notes. Complete lesson, rental, and practice facilities are available at both the Decatur store and the Urbana studio. You don't even have to own your own piano in order to learn to play at Emerson's. The home spinet organ is just one of a complete line of Hammond organs for the home, the church, the school, or the club. Learning to play is so easy, and the thrill of making your own music will give years of satisfaction. Mr. Harry Wheeler, the company instructor, is a trained musician and a capable teacher. Mr. Foley, one of Emerson's expert salesmen, shows the beautiful Frigidaire electric range with its own thinking top and many other features to the housewife and prospective homeowner. Selling only nationally accepted products of quality and value has contributed heavily to the store's enormous success. Mr. Strauss displays the famous Frigidaire Gold Pantry refrigerator. Its freezer, unlike those in conventional refrigerators, is in the bottom, and the hydrator for fruits and vegetables is on the door. More people in Decatur own Frigidaire than any other make. In the executive office, President W. Curtis Busher and W.S. Broccoli, Vice President, are in conference. These two men, along with the approximately 50 people the company employs, are leading members of the Decatur business community. The dean of the Emerson sales staff, Clayton Holmbrook, exhibits a Magnavox television set. Mr. Holmbrook has been with the company for 33 years. Yes, for music lovers and homeowners in and around Decatur, the Emerson Piano House has become a community institution. It is indeed encouraging to see our downtown street busy with traffic and pedestrians, and the well-stocked retail establishments which serve Decatur folks and people from a 10-county trading area with a population of 408,000, with everything in products for the home and for personal use and for virtually any need imaginable. Products from every corner of the world are available at reasonable prices right here in downtown Decatur. And retail sales in our town in 1954 topped $131 million. That's quite a record and reveals the growth and expanding prosperity of our town. Linen Scrubs leads our retail stores. This wonderful modern department store has a staff of trained beauticians and a complete stock of beauty aids in its cosmetic department. The perfume bar is particularly popular. The bridal service is a real Lynn tradition, it being the first such service offered in Decatur. For years, Decatur brides have been coming here for everything from the selection of that all-important gown to just the right clothes for the honeymoon, from presenting the traditional blue garter and bride's notebook to the renting of reception crystal, for all the details that make the wedding day the most memorable event in a lifetime. The hosiery department is no longer merely a stocking counter, but a full department dealing in one of the most important factors in any lady's wardrobe. Jewelry is always fascinating, and the chances are that the best-dressed Decatur women, the really fashionable members of the distaff side, not only get their dresses and suits and coats from Linen Scrubs, but their accessories as well. The most modern styles of the season and the perennials as well are featured. The baby department is a joy both to those who work in it and those who come as customers. It's a real family affair, as many mothers who come to outfit their youngsters were in turn outfitted here when they themselves were young. The teen shop specializes in fine and famous ready-to-wear for girls, sub-teens, and teenagers. Lynn buyers take regular buying trips, ensuring an up-to-date stock and keeping style-conscious Decatur women aware of the latest in fashions. Linens and home furnishings are dear to the heart of every woman. The store continues to do business with established English and Scotch manufacturers, as well as more recent American companies. Putting the family monogram on the fine linens is a must for the smart Decatur woman. She, along with Decatur menfolk, look on Linen Scrubs as the center of our town's retail activity. Draperies can either make or ruin a room, and ladies properly take much time in their selection, examining fabrics and patterns carefully. First on the gal's list is the ready-to-wear department, where buyers have the assistance of representatives who keep track of daily developments in New York and Los Angeles. But probably no article in female apparel so represents the eternal feminine side as lingerie. With modern styling and designing, its beauty has been greatly enhanced, and the many new fabrics have added immeasurably, not only to the loveliness of lingerie, but also to its wearing qualities. And no one knows quality like the lady shopper. For the newlyweds and the new homeowner, the Linen Scrubs furniture department must be the first step en route to beauty and comfort in the home. Shoes must not only be in style and attractive, but of equal importance, they must fit and be comfortable. The shoe industry has made wonderful strides along both these lines, so that the lady's shoe is truly a thing of beauty and a joy to wear. Millinery is the most individualistic purchase a lady makes, and one of the most important, because by her hat is her personality judged as by no other article of apparel. And Decatur men and women know that they'll find what they want at Linen Scrubs, and at a price to fit everyone's budget. Handsome public buildings play a large part of our cultural life. The public library offers us the chance to develop our minds through the world of books. Statues and monuments remind us of the great heritage of our past. Stephen Decatur was a great American, and his statue on the Art Institute grounds keeps him in our memory. But another great American is perhaps even dearer to all our hearts, Abraham Lincoln, born and raised nearby and commemorated in the handsome statue on the grounds of Millikan University. One of the finest institutions of higher learning in the entire Midwest is our Millikan University, a center for liberal arts and vocational education. The Millikan National, Decatur's oldest and largest bank, is deeply rooted in the early history of Decatur. Founded in 1860 by James Millikan, the bank has provided service to thousands. As Decatur grew, the bank expanded its services and is now one of the most modern and efficient banking institutions in downstate Illinois. In 1950, the bank was enlarged and redesigned for greater convenience and improved service. In the spacious air-conditioned lobby, you can recognize the faces of people who have been serving you courteously and continuously for many years. The large number of paying and receiving tellers assures prompt attention. The officers' quarters of the Commercial Loan Department are conveniently located. Mr. Everett E. Joint, the busy president of the Millikan Bank, finds the time to be an active community leader as well. The Safe Deposit Department provides various size boxes at reasonable rentals to safeguard your important papers from fire or theft. Other specialized banking services, such as savings, escrow exchange, and government bonds, are also available. The Real Estate Mortgage Loan Department finances homes, farms, and business properties with long-term mortgage loans that can be repaid in monthly installments like rent. The Installment Loan Department is on the second floor. This department finances the purchase of automobiles, appliances, home improvements, and extends other types of installment credit. These efficient people work behind the scenes long after the bank closes its doors, operating the latest machinery that accurately records and tabulates the deposits and withdrawals that have been made through the teller's windows. Modern machines and trained personnel combine to accurately record and prove all the transactions made during the day. Modern sidewalk teller windows provide fast, convenient service. 30-minute free parking is provided in the garage at 128 North Franklin Street for customers while they are transacting their banking business. 55% of the stock of the Millikan National Bank is owned by the estate of James Millikan under a trust created by his will. During the past 46 years, the estate has contributed more than $2,800,000 to Millikan University, the YMCA, the Decatur and Macon County Hospital, and many other worthwhile organizations. It's truly a community bank. Since pioneer days, the Millikan National Bank has been a financial cornerstone in Decatur. It has built its strength through years of service. Beautiful buildings like the Macon County building surround us in our town. And we can get the best in medical care at the handsome hospitals of Decatur, where the dedicated men and women of the medical profession work round the clock in their constant battle against disease. The Decatur and Macon County Hospital has an excellent nursing school, which graduates trained nurses to take their place in the hospitals alongside the doctors and interns. It's reassuring to know that if anything goes wrong, if we fall prey to disease or infirmity, fine hospitals like St. Mary's are ready to take care of us. Religion also plays a large part in our lives. We are proud of our many beautiful churches and the regular attendance of young and old at our religious services. It speaks well for the inspirational leadership which is given by our ministers, priests, and rabbis, the doctors of divinity who guide the spiritual side of our being, just as the medical doctors take care of physical and mental ailments. In times of stress, we all seem to turn to religion and to the church for guidance in understanding the ways of our fellow man and getting along with him. And if we start our children through their religious training while they are still young, educate them early to love their neighbors and to bring into their practical lives the great teachings of the Bible, as they grow up and go out into the world to take a position of adult responsibility in the community, we may yet have total peace and understanding in our time. for living in brotherhood with one's fellow man is the primary creed of the religious life. Decatur is famed for its excellent ambulance service, a voluntary responsibility assumed by our funeral homes. An outstanding example is the James J. Moran and Sons Funeral Home, located at Water and El Dorado Streets in downtown Decatur. The present brick and Bedford stone structure was built in 1924 on US 36, just 1 block from Illinois 51, the crossroads of the nation. The late James J. Moran, founder of the home, was a man with an exceptionally friendly personality. One of his most cherished possessions was the flag presented by the Decatur GAR chapter. Old scrapbooks and ledgers certify to more than 60 years of faithful service, a tradition carried along today by Ambrose and James Moran, Jr., brothers and partners. Today, most funeral services are held in funeral and mortuary chapels such as Moran's, which boasts Decatur's first and oldest funeral chapel organ, with a record of service in more than 12,000 funerals. An unusual feature of the home is its cloistered corridor, as serviceable as it is impressive. A general practice among many funeral homes today is to provide family rooms, where the family and friends may be together with the deceased, as though in their own home, until time for the services. There are 5 such rooms. Carefully planned, paved, and well-lighted parking facilities are provided. Through the years, the early horse-drawn hearse has given way to the present motorized funeral fleet. The community-minded management has sponsored variously basketball, baseball, bowling, and golf teams, and have otherwise encouraged clean sports and good sportsmanship. Yes, and they love fine horses, too. The various business details of a funeral service are exacting, and courtesy and a sincere desire to serve are paramount. The most important piece of office equipment is the phone, and ambulance calls always get immediate response. Moran Ambulance Service through the years has earned a wide reputation for dependability, for insincerity of purpose and fulfillment of service. The James J. Moran and Sons Funeral Home deserves the mark of merit. Our civic leaders work hard to give us an even better Decatur. At an Association of Commerce meeting, the Road and Street Committee considers state and local improvements. Among those present are Bob Emmons, Henry Bowles, Executive Secretary, Chairman Jack Banton, Dan Bopp, George Richardson, Edgar Allen, Russell Lane, Dave Webb, and Bill Starr, all community-minded citizens. A typical result of the committee's deliberations might be a new highway such as Highway 36. Of course, with the constant expansion of our town, as it grows with the rest of the United States, improvements in communications and transportation are always needed if we're to keep pace with the times. Another civic-originated project is the Decatur Bridge. One of the important developments in community living of late has been the steadily increasing demand for natural gas. To bring gas into the home and the factory in our Decatur area required the laying of new pipelines, and hence the installation of new 12-inch gas mains is seen being carried out. It is in this way that we, with our elected representatives in the city and county and state government, keep abreast of our own growth. With the building of new homes, telephone lines are needed, and they are completely installed in underground cables. When all the construction work has been completed and the trucks have gone away with the materials and workers and tools, we are left with a network of fine highways, spanning out in every direction on the compass, helping to make Decatur the real crossroads of the nation. We all love to eat potato chips, but have you ever seen them actually being made? Kelly's potato chips, the chips with the zip, are manufactured right here in Decatur by Kelly Food Products, a company which has developed enormously since its founding in 1940 under the leadership of its owners, the Ficks, father and son. Company buyers shop all over our nation, searching for potatoes especially suitable for processing into potato chips, taking into consideration such important factors as specific gravity, sugar, and starch content. Only potatoes which pass the United States standard of grade 1 size A are used at the plant. This is one reason why the end product delights millions of snack hunters in downstate Illinois and western Indiana. The first step in the Kelly process involves dumping the new potatoes into the automatic peeler, which cuts the skin off close to the top, thus preserving the precious vitamins and minerals which would otherwise be lost. After peeling, the potatoes are shunted along the conveyor to the slicer. Sanitation is a keynote in food processing, and all equipment and handling at the plant represents a peak of sanitary methods. Plant Superintendent John Hicks watches the slicing and washing mechanisms. All machinery is of the newest and most advanced type, which is incorporated with the very latest scientific know-how. A tumbling process sifts out scraps and water before the even slices of potato pass into the cooker. Production is completely automatic. And now, right inside of the cooker. Notice how the entire processing of potatoes, from peeling, washing, slicing, and destarching, to weighing and packaging, goes on automatically in assembly line fashion. After the proper time, the chips emerge from the cooker and pass along the hot chip conveyor. Production capacity has grown from approximately 500 to 800 pounds per day in 1940 to about 50,000 pounds of potatoes at the present. That makes a lot of good eating for hungry Decatur folks. Chips are good for the youngsters and offer adults the perfect cocktail hour accompaniment to your favorite drink. Mrs. William Kassler of the Welcome Wagon is seen in the plant packaging area. Kelly's chips are given away by the Welcome Wagons to welcome all newcomers to our town. Can you imagine a better way to greet the stranger? The old adage that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach can be broadened to include all people. For there is perhaps no better way for our community or for us as individuals to put our best foot forward than to offer tasty golden Kelly's potato chips. Distribution is made to grocery stores, supermarkets, restaurants, lunch counters, schools, hospitals, and cafeterias by Kelly's fleet of trucks. Swift service to thousands of retail outlets throughout the entire area ensures the peak of freshness in Kelly's wonderful potato chips to the entire buying public. Let's all make sure to include them on our shopping list. For the Kelly trucks, as indeed for all industrial truck transportation and private cars, the fine highways of our part of the country offer swift and speedy travel. There's no bottleneck or traffic pileup, not on these swift roads. Traffic moves along smoothly at all times. And as we drive out along the roads, we pass through some of the prettiest, most fertile, warm land in the country, and indeed in the entire world. The fields of our farms spread all over the horizon, offering an endless vista which inspires a feeling of awe in the viewer and is unforgettable once you have seen it. Agriculture is a major part of our economy and balances our industrial activities perfectly to give us a sound basis for predicting continued prosperity in years to come. According to the 1950 census, there were well over 2,000 farms in Macon County alone, covering a total area of over 300,000 acres. Most of the farms are owned and operated by one man with the help of his employees. These are solid citizens in our community, real leaders in our social and cultural environment, as well as providing the food which we eat. From the wheat and rye of our farmland comes the raw material for the bakers. In Decatur, fine bakery products come from the Purity Baking Company. Flour is by far the most important ingredient, and each year several million pounds of choice flours are used, which when expertly blended in just the right proportions, make a tasty, wholesome loaf of bread. Flour, yeast, and water are mixed to form what is called a sponge. The next step involves the aging or fermenting of the sponge for 3 or 4 hours to develop flavor. The dough passes up a chute to the bread divider, where it is automatically weighed off into equal pieces, each one of which will become an individual loaf. The Purity story goes back to 1924 and is one of constant progress and expansion. The units of dough are automatically rounded and manipulated so that they form a protective skin or coating which seals in the gases during the trip through the proving room, which is located right above the rounder. The pieces of dough then go to the molder to be shaped into loaves and to push out the excess gas. They are next placed into pans which are sprayed with a plastic coating to prevent sticking, thus giving that even, golden, satiny crust which is so appealing. For approximately 1 hour, each unbaked loaf stands in a dry temperature of 100 degrees and a wet temperature of 96 degrees, thus being ready for further processing. And then it's into the ovens for a steady, automatic cooking, and bread like that which Grandma baked in days of old. The giant ovens in the bakery bake the bread for 25 to 30 minutes at a controlled temperature of 450 to 500 degrees. When the bread has finished baking and has that homemade taste, the pans are automatically discharged to a conveyor at the side and carried to the rear of the oven where the loaves are dumped off the pans. The slicing and wrapping machines are great fun to watch. Note the almost human quality of the wrapping operation and see how both of these complicated processes are carried out without having the bread come in contact with a single human hand. And then giant delivery trucks, all shining and spotless, rush the Purity bread right to your grocer's with only a lapse of a few hours from ovens to the kitchen. The exclusive system of freshness control makes every loaf guaranteed fresh when you buy it. And that's the secret of Purity's success, freshness and taste, which makes Decatur housewives reach for the familiar package at their favorite stores. Tolley's Markets Incorporated has been proud to be a part of Decatur's business life for the past 16 years, supplying better food priced right in a pleasant store atmosphere with courteous service to the Decatur customer. Tolley's meats, like other items in the store, are sold with satisfaction guarantees, and the beef which is branded as Tolley's cut-right beef is only the choicest grades available. Among the tasty year-round salads prepared are potato, macaroni, bean, fruit jello, carrot, and many others. A few short steps from the receiving room is the refrigerated bulk room, equipped with meat hooks for hanging the quality sides of beef. Girls in sanitary uniforms are specially trained in meat handling, take over the job of weighing, wrapping, and heat sealing the meat after it has been trimmed and cut into various sizes and portions by expert meat cutters. Today there are 5 Tolley markets in our part of the state, all ultra-modern, large, self-service markets which are convenient for the customer and which, by handling food products in quantity, can offer the lowest prices in town. Each of the markets have a large number of separate departments, which offer all sorts of food products to the Decatur housewife, and keep Decatur families well-fed and well-nourished. 36 feet of frozen food cases offer a variety of brands which are nationally known for their dependability and uniform high quality. Tolly's fruits and vegetables are bought direct from the produce market, where the buyer chooses only the best in order to give you fruits and vegetables dewy, fresh, and flavorful at the very peak of goodness when you buy them. And in many cases, they come right from our own Illinois farms. There are so many features in these supermarkets that you have to go out and browse and see them for yourself. There's the delicatessen department with products prepared in Tolly's own delicatessen kitchen, the canned foods department, the specialty department with foods for party needs, Epicurean delicacies and dietetic foods. And popular among all customers are the handy snack bars, where especially tasty tidbits may be purchased for parties, for the cocktail hour, or just to satisfy that between-meal urge for a little snack to take the edge off an appetite. When all the purchases and selections have been made, you just wheel your cart to the checkout counter for prompt, efficient service. It's a pleasure to visit any of Tolly's markets. Diversity is the only proper name for Decatur's industry. While the greatest employment is in grain milling, the wide range from there on defies classification. Significantly, the city's largest employer, the A.E. Staley Manufacturing Company, depends on the surrounding farmland for the corn and soybeans, which it turns into hundreds of valuable products. Together with 4 other soybean processors, the Staley Company gives Decatur the right to be called the soybean capital of the world. We are indeed fortunate to have links of transportation of all types to speed our manufactured products from the various plants to their destinations all over the United States and the rest of the world. Freight service is provided daily by 5 railroads: the Wabash, the Illinois Central, the Baltimore and Ohio, the Pennsylvania, and the Illinois Terminal, and over 40 freight trains pass through our city each day, headed for points north, south, east, and west. Switching agreements provide for the absorption of switching charges to industries served by private tracks. Facilities are provided for prompt transfer of shipments, and classification yards keep transfer switching to a minimum. Transportation by freight train is relatively inexpensive, swift, and dependable, enabling the shipping manufacturer to rest assured that his valuable products will arrive on time and in the same order as they left his plant. Our conveniently located Wabash train depot enables traveling Decatorites to go downtown at nearly any time and board the train they want to take, which by convenient interline connections will transport them to the west and east coast and to the southernmost reaches of the country. The Wabash line provides comfortable passenger service to St. Louis, Chicago, and Detroit. Reasonable fares, luxurious accommodations either in coach or Pullman cars, and swift arrival on schedule make train transportation the modern way a delight and a perfect way to get there when you want to go. And for those of us who are in a real hurry, the Ozark Airlines operates 12 scheduled flights daily for passengers, airmail, and express to Chicago, Milwaukee, Indianapolis, St. Louis, Nashville, Wichita, Kansas City, Davenport, and Moline, connecting with other airlines. It's always a thrill to go out to the municipal airport and watch the great silver birds come into land on the broad 5,300 feet of runways. Bus transportation also offers something which the other means of transportation cannot. It really gives you a chance to see our beautiful country just as if you were traveling through it in your own car. And the big high-powered buses are comfortable too, over the short and long hauls. 40 buses daily are available for our use at amazingly low rates, speeding out from the accessible Decatur Bus Depot. Much of the raw materials for our large processing plants comes from the farmlands of Macon County. The soybean is perhaps the most important product, but many local farmers have made a profitable income from raising livestock and providing milk for thirsty Decatorites and folks from surrounding counties. Did you realize that the gross income ranks Macon County 174th in a nation's 3,007 counties, or the upper 6% bracket? The agriculture which makes this income possible is diversified. Income is derived from grain, cattle, hogs, sheep, and dairy products. A 1953 state federal livestock inventory revealed 84,200 head of beef cattle, milk cows, hogs, and sheep, with the average production per milk cow in the county being 5,182 pounds of milk annually. Crop production in our area has been bountiful, and the growing interest on the part of Macon County farmers in the conservation of soil and water and the adaptation of the most modern methods and farming machinery speaks well for the future production of our area. Progressive farms are identified by contour plantings, terraces, grass waterways, and other conservation measures. But the job of getting conservation on the land is a large and continuing one. It can never be overdone, and we can be thankful that our farmers are blessed with a soil that has tremendous capacity to produce, given the proper balance of plant foods, good management, and good growing weather. Agriculture is a changing thing that represents a constant challenge to those who would improve it, and the majority of agriculture experts today have the firm and substantiated belief that farming in the Decatur area, as in the other agricultural areas of this greatest agricultural nation on earth, has not yet reached its peak. Yes, the future looks good for the crop-growing and cattle-raising farmers of Decatur, the agricultural heartlands of the United States. Quality milk comes from our farms in cans to the Beatrice Foods Company, the manufacturer of Grade A Meadow Gold milk. It's an interesting and informative sight to see the milk process. Let's follow it through this sanitary modern plant. All milk undergoes high temperature, short time pasteurization. The temperature does not spoil that wonderfully fresh country flavor, but is high enough to destroy harmful bacteria. Constant testing and inspection in the well-equipped laboratory keeps a check on quality. No milk leaves the dairy without a butterfat content of 3.5 or more. The handsome red-trimmed familiar Meadow Gold bottles must be perfectly sterile and then passed through the bottle washing machine, where they are washed in a very hot solution, gradually cooled through 6 separate rinses, and finally sterilized with a chlorine solution. Bottles then travel under a stainless steel cover to the filler. While the bottles are making their trip, the milk flows through a sanitary pipe to meet them at the filler, where the milk is literally shoved into the bottles by a vacuum before the caps are put in place. A careful cooling process protects the flavor as the temperature is quickly dropped to 35 degrees Fahrenheit. From this point on, it is just a matter of loading the Meadow Gold bottles onto trucks and speeding them to homes and stores all over the town. And of course, there are the cartons too, which are handy for the housewife and her crowded icebox or refrigerator. A remarkable machine performs the whole operation in one, from putting wax on the cartons to filling them with the pasteurized, homogenized milk and sealing them before sending them on their way to the cooling room. Just think of what people from ancient civilizations, or even Louis Pasteur himself, one of the pioneers of the safe modern way of milk processing, would say if they could see these miracles of modern industry's ingenuity in action. A fleet of delivery trucks carries the precious, life-giving nectar milk to its varied destinations. Milk for institutions is delivered by bulk tank. More Beatrice food trucks carry Meadow Gold to homes throughout our area, giving families useful and handy home deliveries of this tasty product. And large trucks keep the markets well supplied each day with fresh milk. There's such a demand among youngsters and old folks too for Meadow Gold that the big trucks are on the go all the time making their deliveries. Let's all make a point of looking for the Meadow Gold label in our stores. For Meadow Gold is the sure sign of fine dairy products and the trademark of better business in our town. The hustle and bustle which characterize our busy downtown streets is really something to see. Decatorites pursue their various jobs with a zeal and a purpose, and even our leisure hours are not spent in pointless activities. For culturally speaking, we are leaders in the Midwest. And in every aspect, our town is growing at an enormous rate, with new homes, industries, and stores going up all around us. To be sure, we have our problems as our town experiences normal growing pains, but under the progressive leadership of our elected representatives, we are moving forward steadily and securely to even more prosperous times in the future. And when during the helter-skelter hours of the day, as we go about our streets on errands of all sorts, our clothes are bound to get soiled. No matter how clean we keep our city, normal wear takes the press out of pants and grime gets into our dresses and skirts. That's when it's time to take our clothes to the cleaner. The model Paris Dry Cleaners and Laundry does the best job possible on our clothes. The customer who brings business into one of these three offices will soon be satisfied. All garments are carefully sorted and marked, typifying the painstaking care which model Paris takes with the clothes we entrust to them. The dry cleaning washers, examples of the fine modern laundry and cleaning machinery, carry a big load and get all normal dirt marks out. But sometimes even the most rigorous cleaning process will not take away some of the more unusual spots, and these are specially gone over by the spotter. And out come the clothes, perfectly immaculate. Operating a really top-flight cleaning and laundry establishment takes great skill, years of experience, and the most up-to-date knowledge of new cleaning fluids and new materials, particularly synthetics. The finishing job, which is done at Model Paris, is especially noteworthy, and a variety of machines are called into use to press shirts properly. And we all know that the men in the family are the most exacting members when it comes to getting the shirts just right. Decatur men are fully satisfied with Model Paris. Each shirt is carefully inspected as it comes from the presser, and anyone that does not completely fulfill the high standards is put back through the process from start to finish until it comes out right. Unique machines help in the folding, taking the sleeves first and then folding the shirt up so neatly that it can be fitted around the cardboards. It reaches the owner in just the same shape as it comes off the Model Paris presser. It's an example of people and machines working together from start to finish. All flat work gets the same meticulous treatment at the plant, returned to the home just like new. A special feature at each of the three stores on East Wabash, West El Dorado, and East Prairie is one-day service. If you're in a hurry to wear a particular garment, you can get it back the day after you bring it in. Another final inspection precedes the placing of the clean garments into the protective bags where they await delivery to the home. And off go the Model Paris trucks with their full load, returning the precious, valuable clothes completely renovated. Safeguarding our town against the dread hazard of fire is our splendid fire department, whose valiant, loyal members keep a round-the-clock vigil protecting property and lives against this great danger. And guarding us in a different but equally important way is Decatur's finest, the Decatur Police Department. With headquarters in the basement of the Macon County building, the force is ably headed by such fine citizens as Chief Glenn Kerwin, Identification and Records Bureau Lieutenant Ralph J. Doyle. And presiding ably over our entire city administration is our mayor, Mr. Clarence A. Solotny, who directs our town's public affairs with zeal and efficiency. One of the mayor's tasks, along with other civic leaders, is to see that fine schools are provided for our young. We can take pride in the Southeast Elementary School and the John Hill Junior High School, as well as the many other fine-grade junior high and high schools to which we send our children. These are the most important years for youth of Decatur, and they are fortunate in having excellent facilities as well as dedicated and intelligent teachers to guide them down the right path toward a good future life. Seeing the determined, eager faces of our young, either poring over their books or playing hard on the football field, fills every parent's heart with a warm feeling that his child is getting the best care available. We have seen many ways in which our industries are growing with our town. One of the keynotes of growth is an expansion in housing facilities, and the Decatur building industry is working at full production to keep up with the demands of newcomers to our town for high-quality, low-cost homes. G.S. Lyons & Sons Lumber and Manufacturing Company is a real leader in the building trades, supplying a crucial service to builders and contractors. When a builder contemplates a new project, the chances are he will come to the folks at Lyons for advice and for his lumber needs. The stockpile is really impressive. Lyons keeps a full stock of all different types of lumber at all times, assuring prompt delivery to the customer. Today, the company employs between 75 and 80 people. Umbrella-type sheds are used for the dry lumber storage area, giving the company a large inventory for its complete line of lumber and building materials. Prefabrication is the idea behind new construction these days, since it is cheaper for whole units of a building to be manufactured in a plant and then shipped to the job site, ready for installation. In 1950, the use of steam power for the mill operation was discontinued, and today, newly installed machines are equipped with individual motors. The mechanical handling of the bulky truss is made easy through modern machinery, which has enabled the principle of prefabrication to be carried so far, and which allows you, the Decatur homeowner, to buy your house at lower costs. But in addition to the sale of its line of lumber and allied materials, the firm also manufactures almost every conceivable type of custom wood products for the home, office, factory, and for public institutions as well, with the exception of furniture and fixtures. Precision woodwork today combines the skills which have been handed down through generations of fine craftsmanship with accurate, efficient machinery, which enables the workman to get the job done in less time. With this important aspect of its operation, Lyons thus performs direct as well as indirect services to the Decatur community. William Tebusek, the mill superintendent, and William Struze, a detail man, are seen in the drafting room where plans are drawn up to meet the architect's exact specifications. Precision and accuracy to a minute degree are requirements at this planning stage. It takes a sizable office staff to keep the company's finances rolling. Credit manager Archie Norton interviews a new customer who wishes to open an account in the credit department, which, along with the other offices and the display room, has been completely remodeled recently. A crucial part of the preliminary operation in any job is estimating, and it takes trained experts to figure a job at this stage in a way which will give the customer lowest costs. Sales manager Harry Blackburn is seen in the sales department along with Richard Rocash. Most of the men who are employed in such key positions at the company are college graduates. They must combine their natural intelligence and acquired learning with a business know-how only achieved through long years of experience. It's easy to see that any major company like Lyons must have men with a variety of talents and skills in order to keep the business rolling so successfully. Through the work of its skilled employees, Lyons & Son is continuing its 77-year-old tradition of service to the Decatur building industry and to the community. Yes, it is our diversity of industry and manufacturing which keeps our town economically sound. A company of international importance, the Caterpillar Tractor Company, has a plant in Decatur. There's the Decatur Pump Company, manufacturer of water supply systems and other products. Helping to make us the soybean capital of the world is the Archer Daniels Midland Company, makers of all sorts of soybean products. Spencer Kellogg & Sons Incorporated, processors of crude soybean oil, soybean meal, and flour, also help to add to our splendid and worldwide reputation. They join with Staley, Archer Daniels Midland, and other companies in this key industry. Our city-owned properties add, too, to this overall feeling that Decatur is a wonderful site for the relocation or establishment of an industry. The city waterworks and New Sangamon River Dam are impressive to see. Equally impressive is the power and gas company, keeping thousands in our town well supplied. But all is not work in Decatur, for we all know how to relax, and particularly how to take advantage of the great outdoors and wonderful fresh air, which are ours merely through being citizens of our great state of Illinois. A proud chapter in civic enterprise constitutes the story of our beautiful Lake Decatur, on which there is boating, swimming, and fishing for all, as well as a crucial source of water. For Decatur got its lake the hard way. It had to be built. But build it we did, and its beautiful 12 miles in length stands today as a testimony to the vision, courage, and enterprise of civic leaders of the 1918 to 1920 period who carried the big project to completion. It's always a thrill to see a whole family of our neighbors out for the day in the pretty scenery of Nelson Park. There are picnic facilities where the youngsters and oldsters can get their fill of charcoal-cooked food. And there are playgrounds complete with swings and all sorts of other equipment, where we can let our children have their fun and let loose their animal spirits and really have a wonderful time. And there's nothing that gives more of a thrill than taking them to the Nelson Park Zoo. Living in the active present, we still find time to take an interest in the great heritage of our past. The courthouse where Abraham Lincoln practiced is a familiar landmark. In the warmer days of summer, there's nothing quite like taking a dip, and swimming facilities are available for all, either in Nelson Park or elsewhere in and around town. Some folks like just to lie in the sun and get a nice tan, while others will swim or practice their diving. But all in all, it's being outdoors and taking part in healthful exercise that counts, a perfect change of pace from the working day. Garfield Park has fine tennis courts where the racket addicts can get their full share of the game. It surely is no idle boast to say that Decatur offers something for everyone in sports, and we all take part. It doesn't matter whether you shoot regularly in the low 80s or whether you have trouble breaking 100. You still can enjoy golf on one of the many beautiful courses with their long, rolling fairways and their swift, sure, manicured greens. Yes, there's something for every taste in our wonderful town. Prosperity is ours through the industrial and agricultural activity, which goes on in all seasons of the year. And it's easy to find a diverting pastime when we're not working, either in cultural or recreational pursuits. We enjoy our individual freedom, and we also can enjoy the wonderful feeling of belonging which comes from living in the community. Certainly, though we may wander far and wide in the world, we'll always come back here to Decatur. For this is our town, Decatur, Illinois, USA.